It's good. All right, technical difficulties resolved. One online, sorry about the delay, little hiccup with the computer system. All right, welcome everybody to our, what is this, August, our August REMAC meeting, kind of we could please state flag. One of the Daves next to me, would you like to lead it?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic.
Okay.
One nation.
Okay, but maybe her husband is at home.
All right. Thanks everyone for attending. Appreciate it.
Don, could you just silence all the, I just did.
Yeah, we just did that. Okay.
Sorry, doing the pledge of allegiance.
Oh, at least they're patriotic. All right. So, incoming from the New York State Bureau of EMS Compliance Bureau, I have 7 of these. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. James Hernandez, EMT number 526469 for violations of NCRR 10 Part 800-115A1, .15A3, .16A1, .16A2 and .16A3, surrendered certificate effective July 30th, 2026. Jared Finch, EMT number 468293, for violations of 10 NYCRR Part 800-16A1, .16A2, .16A3, .16A9, .16A11. Revoked. Raquel Sanchez Matos, EMT number 475485 for violations of 10 NYCRR Part 800.16A1, .16A2, .16A3, .16A11, also revoked as of 6/17 of 2026. Jason Withers, 267662 for violations of 10 NYCRR Part 800.16.A1, .16A2, .16A3, .16A11, revoked as of 6/17/2026. Mitchell Koch, 384981 for violations of NCRR 10 Part 800.15 and 800.16. Surrendered certification effective 6/24 of 2026. Jason Haig, 314225 for violations of 800.16A1 and 800.16A2, assessed a civil penalty of $2,000 and revoked as of 6/5 of 2026. And then finally, Max Ryder, 390095 for violations of NCRR 10 Part 800.16A10, certification surrendered as of September 24th, 2025. That's weird because they posted it now. Okay, well, anyway, those are the 7 from the state. And then next is approval of minutes and attendance from our previous meeting. So moved. All right. By Dr. Kirshen.
Okay.
Remember Dr. Good? Yes, has it. Okay, all set. All right. Anything outgoing?
Just the all committee, all agency meeting flyer that.
Okay, so the all agency meeting flyer that we sent out, thank you, Dr. Gelman, for being here. So Dr. Gelman is the health commissioner. We are working with her in the health department. Do you want to talk about anything about this or say hi or just introduce yourself?
I think mostly everyone knows me here. Good afternoon. We are working collaboratively on the Nassau County-wide plan, and we are very optimistic that we will be able to land it by the December 19th deadline.
Thank you for being here, Dr. Gelman. We appreciate you. So this went out to everyone. We are going to have a meeting on August 19th at 8 p.m. It's going to be here. And also it's going to be virtual. So you have the 2 options. You can come in person and we will all be here in person, or you can come virtually and see it virtually. Essentially, this is the state law that is requesting or requiring all of the counties in New York State to file a county EMS plan by December 19th. Am I right on that? by December 19th. That's what Dr. Gelman was referring to. And we'll be working on this plan collaboratively. More information will be to follow on this at this meeting. It'll be joint REMAC and REMSCO at that meeting, plus Dr. Gelman from the Health Department and a couple other partners that we have on board. So
There will be a lot of communication, a lot more communication, I should say, from Don Hudson, because there are a few competing deadlines. I think right now we have a pending deadline on August 9th.
yeah, that's for the
Yeah.
regional, I'm sorry, each agency has to submit a plan on
And
August 9th, yeah.
the educational institutions as well.
Oh, okay, correspondence.
And we're working on the municipalities, so hopefully they'll land that too by August 9th.
Perfect.
That was what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
homework.
Just for the record, ask the agencies to please complete the form and for the correspondence please to complete the forms online through the forms page on the New York State TOH website.
Perfect. And every agency should have gotten one of those. If for some reason your agency did not get it, or you have any questions, you could just reach out to Don or myself or Dr. Gelman, and all of us know where to find it for you.
Yes.
And then there'll be more to follow at that August 19th meeting, and we will discuss that further then. So just everyone's aware of that, so everyone's invited. Also, there are new protocols coming out from the state. That's September 1st, right? Yeah, so September 1st. The state does have a change log if you want to go to their website. Are you guys putting anything out from Suffolk County? We'll put something out too.
I emailed it to you before this
Okay.
meeting. You can forward it to any agency you
Perfect.
want.
Perfect. So we do a lot of joint stuff with Suffolk County, so I will work through Don to get that out to everyone, so everyone gets that document. So that'll help with the new protocols, and those roll out on September 1st. So appreciate that. Thanks.
Which means your agency should be doing the training now.
Yes, correct.
Just become the active protocols.
Yes, the protocols go active September 1st. I agree, agencies should be training. If anyone has any questions about that, please reach out to us. And then from me, that's my report. Going over to Dr. Kugler.
Nothing till we get to credentials.
Okay. QI, Silver?
So we had a meeting just before this meeting, reviewed a couple of things that came our way. And it seems that the general gestalt of some of the more common issues revolve around e-bridge communications, medical communications and medical control within the NUMIC itself with regards to talking to doctors. So we're going to be working on this over the next month, reaching out to those involved to see if we can come up with some system-wide recommendations. However, the general gist for everyone right now is use eBridge, love eBridge, please use eBridge. Other thing that came up is eMOLST. As most of the people here know, you have both the pink forms as well as the electronic version of the MOLST. EMS agencies are required to have access if a patient does have a eMOLST, so they do not do resuscitations that are not wanted. If you are interested in getting your agency on board, you can reach out to myself or the state and we can help you get access. Outside of that, I think that pretty much sums up, and then we're also going to meet now that the summer is over. We're going to have a little sit down again with our stroke coordinators from each of our Nassau hospitals, since it seems that we still have a recurring discussion of what constitutes a stroke and the training that both EMTs and ALS providers get with regards to how to identify a stroke and how to reconcile those two differences.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Silver. For RSI Airway, we had a virtual meeting last week. Because of availability and because I needed room for Dr. Silver to have his QA meeting, we met virtually last week. Just a couple things that came up during Airway. We had 2 cases that we reviewed that were sent over by Northwell EMS. They did a very good job sending over a review and detailed explanations on those cases. The lessons learned from their cases were ensuring that you do fluid resuscitation, especially if the person is hypotensive or there's a concern for shock or hypoperfusion. There was a question on one of the cases, the dosing was not quite within the protocol and they remediated the person on that. There was also waveforms were all attached, and that's really helpful for us. So that's very, very important, especially for airway QA and QI that we have the waveforms. That was very helpful. And also they sent pictures of the video scopes to show the intubations. So, as we're moving more towards agencies developing, using video scopes, whether it's for RSI or not, this is a very good QA tool. Super important just to make sure it's part of your quality assurance plan and that the physician has it written in that the video is only meant for quality assurance, so that way it's only usable for QA and then can't be discoverable. So just make sure that's part of your QA plan. But once it's part of your QA plan, it's incredibly helpful. It's really a game changer to be able to see the intubations. And I was actually just talking to Dr. Winslow about a case I was reviewing in Suffolk, and having the video was very helpful, so I could give education to the medics. So that's just having that tool is just very, very important. So know that's important out there. We talked about supraglottics. The eye gels, just, if you're using an eye gel and for whatever reason you can't get it to seat right, to just always default back to BVM. It was a case that we were talking with Dave Caldor, and just if there's any QA questions about supraglottics as we're using them more and more, just bring those back to us for airway reviews. It's just helpful for all of us to learn together, since it's a somewhat new tool and very useful that we just get the feedback, so we're all using them appropriately. We're going to start working on some tips and tricks like I'm presenting now. We'll work on that with QA, and then we're hoping to get maybe like a little like a newsletter or something out to everyone that we could do that we help with education for everyone, since we really want to help increase the education and the awareness of all of our providers and make sure we're doing the best care we can. And then we had 2 agencies for supraglottic airways, which I will bring up under new business, and then we had 5 medics that we bring as a seconded motion. John Rothman from Hicksville, Russ Robinson, Todd, we're done quick.
Todd Weiss.
Weiss, thank you. I know, I wrote it down quick. I can't remember my handwriting. I'm a doctor. Liz Adele and Andrea Mott. So those are 4 providers from New Hyde Park. So those 5 providers were come as a seconded motion from Airway, and we'll bring that up under new business. Yes, and also I am working on a project with Ernie, and I was a little delayed in getting some data to him that we're looking into. That was the question about how to track the airways from the form. So we're still working on that. There were just a lot of things going on this past couple of months, especially with the plan we're working on with the health department and stuff. So we are going to look into that. It is on the radar. It just got delayed a little bit. So I should have more for that at the next meeting with everybody. So that's RSI Airway. Any questions? All right, Dr. Ryan's excused. Did you hear anything on protocol? I don't think so. Dr. Kugler, credentials?
So there's 2 things. First one comes out of quality, which we'll bring up under new business for voting, is a request from this body to all regional medical, all medical control agencies that are providing medical control in the region, to provide us a current list of their credentialed medical control physicians. So we need a motion and or the second motion for that, only because we need to track who's providing medical control and see if they're actually credentialed in our region. The second, which will also come out under new business, is Northwell is requesting the addition of 2 new doctors as field physicians, Dr. Ryan Kenny and Dr. Erica Cohen. They are attendings at LIJ. A letter was sent to the credentials portal at Remsco from Alan Schwalberg, who's a SVP of EMS, indicating the support for the 2 physicians. They've taken the online credentialing exam. They're licensed in New York. They're both EM doctors at LIJ. So they meet the regional criteria to provide medical control. They've taken the testing, and then so we'll have a vote under new business. Those are the only 2 items.
Okay, so I'll bring those both up to new business. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kugler. I don't think Dr. Vermonte is here. I don't believe we heard anything from policy, did we? Okay, so no report on that. The RTAC did meet. There wasn't anything. John, you went to that meeting. I missed that. Anything bring up on that?
No, it was basically a reconvening after the summer period.
Plainview, is that something they reported?
Yeah, there'll be more to follow.
Okay, Plainview's applying to be a level 3 trauma center, but that's going through the RTAC, so there's more to follow on that. They just brought it up. I think that's really the only thing that's just, that's just informational. That's not official yet. That's still being worked on by the RTAC. So And eventually, once we get further on blood products, then that also will be coordinated with the RTAC, but we're not there yet. And Dr. Levy is excused for today, so there's no report on the whole blood tag. But as we move forward, we are coordinating with them on that, which is very nice. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Cookman.
And just with regards to the application for the level 3 trauma, I think we need to start thinking, of our planning as a group. How we're going to address any facility that comes online as a level 3 or lower, level 3, level 4 trauma center, with regards to transportation destination decision-making in the region, which is the purview of the REMAC. So I'm not saying that we need to act on it, it's not even a thing yet, but we need to start considering it. So I think now's an opportunity to look at data, see who should be receiving what. So in anticipation, if it does pass and they do get their credentials, which is not gonna happen for years, we will already have.
Is there a specific committee we should refer that to, or do we just do that as a body?
I think it's as a body, we'll have comments.
Okay,
Since we can give a little bit more flavor since you're going to discuss it. So that was put on their radar, just as a reminder, right now as a region, we do not designate between level 1, level 2, right? A trauma center and a trauma center.
and some people in the north do go to Huntington, which is a level 3 at the moment.
Correct. And, theoretically, we haven't traditionally had level 3s in our region. This would probably be the first of theoretically more. So it would be an opportune time to have that discussion about the appropriateness of who goes where, level 1, level 2, level 3, as the ACS guidelines do give some recommendations to that we really haven't, embraced or discussed.
We haven't had the need to.
We haven't had the need, right?
Yeah.
So the backstory to that, not to take up too much time, but so the feeling was, particularly with the implementation of, blood thinners as a trauma center criteria, while the grand discussion of what is a blood thinner, just because somebody's on aspirin and they skin their knee, do they have to go to a level 1? And, all the permutations and possibilities that come along with that. The general feeling that expressed at the RTAC was, general ER is seeing those patients anyway. It makes sense to then, fall within the trauma center, level 3, level 4, in acknowledgement of that. Yeah, it's really just a continuation on that discussion about, everyone knows what a level 1 looks like, but what do the others look like and where should they best go?
It'd be a good discussion,
Yeah.
especially when we're talking about blood products also, so that'll be 2 things to talk to the RTAC about, so. We'll continue to work with, and we've been working on trying to build all these bridges in collaboration that we've had, I would say Dr. Winslow's here, go ahead, Dr. Winslow.
The way we did it in Suffolk is we have half 3s and half 1s and 2s. As we said, the reds should go to 1s and 2s and the others should go to the closest trauma center, which would be 3s would be getting only yellow. Simple math.
Yeah. That's what
That's what they want anyway.
Simple
They just
math,
want the
yeah.
overall
We like simple math.
Simple math.
It is what the ACS says, as Ernie is alluding to, and
Yes.
traditionally, we never had to discuss it, so it's an opportune time, and I agree.
Yeah.
The win here, one way or the other, is that we have these relationships that traditionally we haven't had, and we know who to talk to and vice
Yeah,
versa. So,
and with the RTAC, with the health department, we're doing a lot,
coordinators.
right, stroke coordinator, we're building a lot of bridges these days, and that's very good. Just only helps the region, so we're appreciating all of that. Okay, communications tag, I guess Dr. Josh Cougar's not here, Dr. Dave Cougar?
Happy to provide that information.
Yep.
So a email was sent out requesting data for May and June from medical control. I haven't gotten that yet. So I can't report out on year-to-date average use is over 40,000 uses year-to-date, which is pretty remarkable. That's communications, notifications. The majority of those 40,000, 37,600 are the low priority ALS, BLS notifications. So, I mean, we're probably not being very selective as to what we're picking in terms of the notification tool, but remember, this region has a policy. If your unit selects that as the notification, the hospital is not obliged to acknowledge it. So if you have a sick patient and you pick that one and you get upset when the hospital's not waiting for you, that's on you. Sorted by type, trauma notifications, 614, STEMI notifications, 125, stroke notifications, oh man, I don't know if this is right or not, it might be a typo, but I put, there's no way, 7,051. Wow, so we're really good with stroke notifications, that's great.
You were not.
700.
Handwriting.
No,
Yeah.
Maybe it's an extra zero.
I think there might be, it might be an extra zero, but I did the math,
Honest.
yeah. I might have hit the zero by accident, but it's, I mean, there were a lot, there were a couple hundred every month, so, it might actually be that number. Notifications year to date not acknowledged is only 60. There were 18 documented medical control consults on eBridge and 158 video calls made to, medical control. So we're using it very nicely. I
But there
think
were
we're
less not acknowledged then, right?
very few. I
Okay,
mean,
but-
50.
but that's-
If you look at it,
probably
that is the
previously.
total percentage, it's almost,
Yeah.
it's a.
Okay, good, I'm glad, that's great.
Nationwide, our region is like the #1 utilizer of eBridge.
Yeah.
Nationwide and internationally. We have more eBridge notifications than any other system in the nation. So that's
Anybody else
pretty good.
mandated it like we have?
I'm sorry?
Has anybody else mandated it like we have?
Some other regions, that's all they have. And some other regions actually, I sit on a user group. And there's some places in the south that actually use it all the way through its entirety, meaning EMS provides the notification and that notification goes to the specialty provider that's in the hospital. So the hospitals pay for that service on our eBridge platform, but none of our hospitals are using that part of the tool yet. I would hope that hopefully someday they would, but you know, everybody has Teams and they have all these other internal notification tools. But that's there for them. And they can actually, the trauma doc can get the trauma notification just as fast as the ER can. So that's there. So there's a ton of information available. The stroke coordinator can get every stroke notification if they want, but you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't know if you want to get a stroke notification if you're not. So yeah, lots of good stuff. And we're also now sharing our eBridge platform configuration with Suffolk County. eBridge presented to the Suffolk County REMAC and Rensco our platform. So eventually will be the Long Island region will be on one platform. So if agencies going between Nassau and Suffolk County don't have to log out and log into a different platform, that to just hit the destination receiving facility and can make the same report. And there's also discussion about potentially adding our partners to the west with the big 5 boroughs, the largest EMS agency in the world, also coming onto our platform. So that'll put us at over I think over 2 million EMS runs a year.
It's more than half of the calls.
Yeah. So we have the majority of the population of the state in these 7 counties. And we'll have the majority of the ambulance calls. So if we do that, if we'd be on one platform, we could easily talk to each other, share better quality data. I mean, it's just a home run. That's all I have. Any questions about eBridge?
Everyone's or do you want to bring up anything else really?
Yeah, so we had the vendor come to present Nassau County's experience and share what Dr. Kluger was just sharing with the group with our regional REMSCO and REMAC at the joint meeting on July 21st. And there was good support. Our plan was to convene a meeting with the hospital representatives in the next month or 6 weeks or so to see what they would like. And it sounds to me like currently 3 of the healthcare systems in Suffolk have partner hospitals in Nassau who are pleased with it. So I think this will move forward and more to come.
Good, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Well, we appreciate the collaboration between Suffolk and Nassau. It's been going really well, so.
Yes.
We appreciate it as well.
Yeah, great. It's great. It's moving the whole region forward. That's what we want. All right, cool. So the Nassau EMS redesign tag pretty much is going to be on hold because we're moving towards the county EMS plan and working with the health department on that. So essentially the members that were on that are being represented by the REMAC and the REMSCO chairs, and we'll be working with Dr. Gelman and health department and Don, and we'll talk about more of that, like I said, on the August 19th, meeting at 8 p.m. here. All right, online medical control, Jim Amelia's been excused. Dr. Kugler, do you have anything?
There's been no movement on this tag. The tag is gonna be able to move forward once we have a more or once we have more clarity as to how the region is going to incorporate into, I guess, the county policy.
Okay.
That'll give us a little bit more impetus as to how we can better address the medical control issues that we encountered in quality and in communication.
So Dr. Gilman, we'll have to bring that up during our meetings.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, good. We'll make progress on that then too. And Jim O'Meal is in on our meetings also, so that's actually very helpful. Dr. Polidi's been excused. There's nothing new on the whole blood tag. There's I sent to Dr. Polidi, but just to know that freeze dried or spray dried plasma was just approved by the FDA. And there are EMS agencies in various parts of the nation that are looking for that because it's a lot more shelf stable and easier to use. So that may also be playing a role into this. We're still probably a year or two out here. We want to make sure we bring all the parties on board. There's still a lot of work to do, but just know that development's out there. And NHTSA, the national, board that's managing a lot of these things because it goes through like the Department of Traffic originally from when, EMS was founded back in the 1970s. They have a lot of programs online right now about this. So if anyone's interested and you go to the NHTSA website, they actually, I think there's another one next week sometime. So
Just with regards to the FF freeze-dried plasma,
Yeah.
there's a lot of data out of Israel because they had it and then they got rid of it. So that's-
oh, interesting. So I mean, it's just one of those things out there, but I mean, I think everyone's pretty much agreeing that whole blood is best at the moment,
Yes.
it looks like. So I think that's probably the best, but there are places that are carrying plasma only, so it depends. There's a lot of options and there's a lot to do with this, and so just know that we're on top of it and that we'll bring what's best for the region once we figure that out.
And if I can just
go
clarify,
ahead.
what you were alluding to, we're still a year or two
Oh,
away.
easy.
That's not just in Nassau, so for whatever reason in New York State, there is no enabling legislation yet for blood on ground ambulances, right? So the medical industry has gotten over that hump. The laws passed for ground ambulances, but the regulations have not yet been put in place to then get that to move. So those regulations are currently being drafted right now. What that looks like to EMS providers is, as you know, the Part 800 regulations went out for revisions through 2 or 3 public comment periods over the course of a year and a half or so. That same process would now have to be followed for blood regulations.
And everyone's gonna ask why it's in the protocol, it's kind of there as a placeholder, but not something that can be acted upon because the regulations are not there.
Yeah, and that was there
Yeah.
provocatively by the CMAC physicians to drive that legislation to really put the thumb in the eye about this is good for patients, why are we not doing this, and drive the legislation. So it had the intended effect, albeit on a New York State timeline.
Yes. More to follow. Is Tom, oh, go ahead.
I can just share Suffolk has the only current 911 blood administration.
It's coming from Stony Brook, correct?
Stony Brook EMS on aviation.
Got it.
Since December, there have been 8 patients who received pre-hospital blood.
And outcomes were okay?
Pardon?
How are the outcomes?
7 survivors, 1 fatality.
Okay.
But that person, when you review it, probably,
Okay, so I mean,
yeah,
it's promising.
it's what I'm getting at is that even in a very busy system, and that's been 8 months of experience with lots of trauma patients, it's a very rare entity. I mean, it certainly will not be for every agency. It'll be for a select few.
Yeah, and our region's different because we're so close to hospitals and places where
Correct.
there's trauma deserts and all those other kind of things. It obviously is a different, a different balance.
Yes.
And just to reiterate, why that's possible is not some witchcraft, it's walking the line between an aeromedical service and an Article 28 hospital-based service, which is not Article 30 EMS. So get there, frustratingly slow.
Is Chairman Devaney here?
No.
Okay, did anyone have a report? I didn't have a report for him specifically.
Yeah.
You have anything, Dave, I guess?
You want to say? No, I don't.
No.
You're it.
Yeah, you're it.
Okay.
The secretary,
That's what I was staring at.
Secretary Caldor.
Sorry,
Okay, for Remsco.
So at the the Remsco meeting, I brought up about pre-hospital care providers being readily identifiable. I've been in some situations where there were providers there that were not readily identifiable, and we did make use of them when we could have. So at the several Remsco meetings, I brought up a draft, or I have a draft proposal for the EMS policy manual. And I'll read it. In order to facilitate the coordination of resources and allow for ease of identifying the different levels of EMS providers. All EMS providers operating in a scene shall be identified by their respective New York State certification level. This identification shall be via patch or lettering visible on their outermost garment at all times while operating. Acceptable patches shall be those of New York State or the National Registry of EMTs. Acceptable lettering shall be that of their New York State EMS certification level. So I believe, we need.
Actually, it should be the New York State and the EMS agency's credential. Like, you could be a paramedic and not be a paramedic with your agency. But if you're operating on that scene with that agency as an EMT, then you're only an EMT. Right, so, you know, I don't want you taking your paramedic shirt from your other agency, wearing it on a call for an agency that you're not recognized as a paramedic, because at that agency, you're not a paramedic.
Right,
If you don't have your controlled substances, you're not a paramedic. You can't, because you can't provide ALS.
correct.
So you should
Okay,
clarify.
so we'll make an adjustment. And I'll-
The role.
Yeah, and I guess my question is, will an agency ID that clearly identifies what their role is be okay? That was my question.
Would it be, like a regular ID
Like a
card?
visible ID that has their certification level, like we do at the hospital, where it says like
Right.
physician, or it says nurse, or
So-
it says, you know, X-ray tech, or
That's-
whatever.
We should put that up for discussion.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
at
think
the
that
next
seems
regular
reasonable.
meeting, we'll bring all
Right,
those.
that's the spirit of
We'll
what you're
bring
looking
those up,
for.
yeah, the goal, so
The goal would be readily
the
identified.
goal is so that if you're standing there and it doesn't say anything on you,
Right.
and you're an EMS doc. And I could, come on, get out of the way,
Right,
now I know.
That's operational security. That's an
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Okay, so we'll bring it up at the REMS committee.
yeah, I would just
We
say,
can make those changes.
yeah, I think any of those
Absolutely.
things seem
Okay.
reasonable for what you want. Yeah, Ernie?
So does this mean that agencies that use their own paramedic patch are gonna have to remove them and put on the state patch or the national registry patch for the paramedic? Some agencies use clearly identifiable patches, but they're not the state blue patch that everybody sees. Is that the intent or?
We can have a discussion at the REMS.
Oh,
committee.
but New York City says,
Okay, I'm
you
just
can use
curious.
this patch as long as it says City of New York on it.
Right,
And,
we
you
can.
know, so
we'll
Northwell,
have that discussion.
paramedic patches say paramedic and.
We can hash all that out. The main goal
Just to be
is to
ready
know that
identified.
when any of us walk on a scene,
Yes.
we're all readily identifiable, so we can all go to work to take care of the patient. That's my end goal.
Yeah.
That's really why I'm doing this, because I needed somebody and people were there, not identifiable, and we had them removed from the scene. Because we couldn't take a chance.
Mhm.
So, okay, at the REMS committee, we'll.
Okay, so when,
So just housekeeping.
yeah,
So you think that last sentence should be something to the effect of acceptable lettering shall be that of their New York State EMS certification level, comma, at their agency credentialed level?
At their agency credentialed level of certification.
That works.
And then possibly,
a agency issued ID that clearly,
well, strike out the
Yeah.
sentence before that, this identification shall be a patch or lettering. That's visible on the,
maybe the identification should be readily visible or something, and we don't specify why or how.
well, take out the sentence, acceptable patches shall be those of New York State or National Registry, just the previous one. Where it says by patch or letter.
Medical director of that jurisdiction.
Presumably.
In New York City, the New York City REMAC actually designates what the patch, or the REMS code designates what's the patch has to look like. So the region can actually say, all patches must contain the following information for it to be qualified as a uniform in our
It
region.
was always a REMS code.
Yeah, so it's a REMSCO thing. So the REMSCO can say, your patch has to have, you know, I'm a great guy on it, and you have to put it on your patch for it to be a legitimate patch. So I think that the REMSCO has, we have to clarify the wording, and then we have to clarify what components of the patch we're going to include. But,
As I can recall, many years ago, the requirements are the name of the agency and your state certified or regional certified level of certification.
That seems reasonable.
So there are two state policies that apply to this, and they allude to what you were talking about, and that's why we wanted to get this out for this discussion. The state policies talk about a regionally approved identification or patch. So I guess what I'm suggesting is another workaround would be to have agencies that have an already established patch, submit them for regional approval and just say, that one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that should be fine.
Rather, I mean, people spend good money on this, and if it's meeting the objective, why change that?
Right,
Yeah, that's
that was my,
Yeah, that's okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
Rather than saying you must wear our cape
Right.
or our sash or whatever.
Sad.
No capes? All right, so at least we know. So let's see, there shall be, this identification shall be via regionally approved patch or lettering. Sure, there you go.
That sounds good.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
You good with that?
Do you
Yeah.
need a motion from us or just an awareness that we keep it on the radar until you guys discuss it at Remsco?
I guess that would be the question is, do you want it to come back here then? For another look?
It's a
Remsco policy.
Right.
Okay, so
But just for discussion or at least awareness, we should bring it back next
it'll
meeting.
come back for.
Okay.
For the next.
So with no vote, but we'll just leave it as an open item for next meeting so we could remember to talk about it again.
Yep.
If Remsco wants to vote on it next meeting, you won't meet before that again. Is that gonna be a problem for you?
I think it's a Remsco policy, right?
Yeah.
I think we have input on it, but not as a Remsco, yeah.
Trying to keep the kids
Thank
happy.
everybody, yeah.
Is everyone okay with that? That we leave it that with Remsco, but that we'll just have awareness and our brains?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it. And then John, Nassau County EMS Coordinator.
So let's see, you talked about the EMS plan, so, the intent of that roundtable, if you will, is to answer questions, so please come prepared with them. If you want to submit them beforehand, email, fine. If not, we'll unmute, let people. We'll see how that goes, I'll say. So the EMS coordinated response report that was published, in our county, 2 or so years ago. Obviously as a firm foundation with Remsco and everyone else having a glance at that over the last few years. So, if you want to look at that sort of as your homework for that Q&A session, please do so. You talked about everything else I wanted to talk about other than in the coordinator's report this week. The Division of State EMS has become aware of a significant number of EPCR failures from a certain EPCR provider since late June. For the Nassau region alone, and this is as of last week's report, for the Nassau region alone, that's nearly 1,500 charts failed and never went anywheres, including the hospitals. This was brought to light through the established relationships of our stroke and trauma coordinators who are, as we discussed, vehemently always looking for this and voraciously looking for this information to meet their accreditation standards. So they brought this to the attention of the region and the state, that there's a lot of charts missing and where are they and why isn't this data flowing? So that vendor is now on notice and having weekly updates with state EMS to see what they're going to do and on what time frame to rectify this. If your agency, let's see, this vendor should have communicated all of this directly to their clients under the direction of New York State. If not, and your agency is being affected, please don't hesitate to contact the region and the state of New York to report this and to seek guidance. Additionally, medical directors and agency leadership should be actively engaged and aware of this situation. So, those of you that are aware, worthy of note is this is not a necessarily new topic, but something that has been going on now for quite some time, meaning months, many months, if not years. I only bring that up for awareness and to know that since the last 2 years, any agency that looks to go to this vendor is made aware and then required to submit an email that they are knowingly aware of the ongoing issues before switching. So, it's buyer beware at this point. We're an advisory committee and our job is to keep the information flowing, albeit sometimes uncomfortable, but that's how the truth works. So,
I'm not sure if this is,
we don't mention names.
I was gonna say, because how would the medical directors involved here know that their agency is one that has a problem unless we know what vendor we are speaking of?
So if you think it might be you, call me and we'll have a offline conversation.
And just so everyone's clear, okay, Dr.
But
Winslow, you go
also,
first.
the EPCR coordinator of every agency is given the information. They should be returning it to the leadership of the agency.
Yeah, so how that, thank you, Don. So how that looks in our region, so every Monday, I send a report out to all the EMS agencies. Of the number of charts correctly submitted. So if that's not matching your call volume or the amount of charts you think you're submitting, if there's a discrepancy there. You might be one of those agencies, so please use that as the intended effect of, I'm not sure what this means, let me ask, or I think this is a problem, let me ask, and if it's not, great, we love relationships.
Right, and the two comments I would make is, one, reach out to your EMS coordinator from your hospitals, because that's how originally I learned of this in talking with Don, was through the hospital liaison role. And then also just know, if you are leaving one vendor for another, be sure that there's something there where they guarantee you access to your charts and or give you those charts when you leave, because that was also a problem that recently one of my agencies faced, and that has been resolved with the help of the state, but that became a problem, trying to find charts that were from a different vendor, and now we no longer had access to it. So that's also can be a problem. So just be
More
aware of that.
specifically, and I'll say it, because death threats are welcome as our home visits. Just use the back door in the middle of the night and don't bother knocking, so come right in. That being said, if the charts aren't going to the hospital, it impacts patients. I mean, that's not what any of us want. So we talk about accreditation and oversight and everything else. It's for those reasons. As far as if you're changing vendors, we should be having conversations about what that potentially means. And just because somebody else is using it or doing it or thinks something's working, let's face it, that doesn't always work out well for us in the fire service when we just buy the truck somebody else has without doing our homework. So let's use this as a same continuation on that theme.
And we're all here for a resource. Please reach out. We're happy to help. Anything else from?
More than enough. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dr. Harrison, hope he's here. Do we know anything more about his EMD tag? Or anything else, Dr. Cooper? Okay. That's also probably something we should discuss, Dr. Gelman, when we're talking about the county EMS plan. We had already talked about that, so that Dr. Harris from where the Peds docs from Northwell was working on it. I believe because Northwell has an EMD program, right, Dave? That's how Dr. Harris got involved. So that might be a resource to reach out to at some point for us. All right, the Kepler pilot project, I'm gonna put that on the Dr. Winslow, because he and Cole's here also, so if you guys wanna. Paramedic
Yeah, I
area.
wanted to thank Cole for doing most of the work on, all of the work on, so thank you, Cole. The project is going to have a go live date of January 1, for regions out of Nassau and Buffalo. We may go a month earlier in Suffolk to kind of try and get the kinks banged out. But we're gonna bring it back to CMAC for final notification, and we're still waiting for approval from the Commissioner of Health, which should come shortly after that meeting. So more on that, but I think it's gonna be a good thing for agencies in Nassau and plan for the education in after Thanksgiving and ready to go live on January 1.
So again, a collaborative effort that is going to have a good outcome, so we're happy. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Winslow. All right, any other unfinished business that I have missed? Okay, for new business, we'll start with the BLS Superglottic Airway applications. We have one from East Rockaway Fire Department and one from East Meadow Fire Department. Both have met all of their requirements and submitted everything they need to submit. They just need approval from us.
Second motion already, right?
Comes in a second from Airway. Don, right? Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Seconded from Airway. Anyone against? Everyone's okay with that? Okay. All right, great. So we'll put down 7 for both of those.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then the MCA policy and plan, did you want to bring up something? Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta do the medics also that the airway committee approved. The ones that I couldn't read my own handwriting for, so John Rothman, Russ Robinson, Todd Weiss, Liz Adele, and Andrew Mock. 1 from Hicksville, 4 from New Hyde Park. Comes as a seconded motion. Their medical directors were at the meeting and vouched for all of them, and they met all the requirements. Yeah, second for the motion. That's yours. That's yours. Okay, here we go, everybody. All right, anyone opposed? Okay, passed. All right, and then the MCI policy and plan, who was you bringing that up? Who was bringing that one up?
Not MCI, but credentials has to be business.
Okay, we'll do the credentials first. So the two credentials thing that Dr. Cougar was requesting, that was the two docs, Erica Cohen and Ryan.
Ryan Kenny.
Kenny.
Erica Cohen.
So that's Dr. Ryan Kenny and Dr. Erica Cohen from LIJ. They meet the requirements. They have the blessing from Northwell and they've passed the credentialing test for the region.
So we just need a seconded motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, great.
Everyone good? No opposed? All right, that passes.
And then Dr. Kugler,
Yeah.
sorry, don't say Doc.
Dave,
Doc, I know Dave doesn't work, Doc doesn't work, so Dr. Kugler, Dr. David Kugler. Can you just send me their email so we can get the headshots and cards?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Just.
so done,
And then the second one was from credentials, based on the QAQI committee meeting. To have a letter of support or a letter from this body to every EMS agency. That's using or any EMS agency or medical control that's providing medical control in the region. To submit to us a list of all their physicians providing medical control. So we could verify their credentials in the region.
Second.
okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, that passes. And then the MCI policy and plan, who's bringing that forward, Darren? I'll pass to this.
So that comes for REMAX awareness and or potential.
And that's from the
action.
REMSCO, because the REMSCO has a committee on that, correct?
Right, the
That's
REMSCO is a standing disaster preparedness committee that's been working with other stakeholders over the course of the last many years to put together this MCI plan. So obviously, it's a 102-page document. I didn't print out all of it. It's on the website if you want to delve into it, but the table of contents is here along with everything else. This has been a policy in the works, and I guess the discussion turned towards, well, rather than having it as its own standalone, it should just, like everything else we have done, become part of the regional policy manual as an addendum.
Oh.
And thereby it becomes enforceable and yada, yada, yada. So,
Okay, does that need a motion from us to do that?
I don't know.
Motion.
Okay, I'll second the motion. There you go, how's that? We got one.
You love it.
Okay, very good. Everyone okay with that? Everyone opposed? Okay, passes. And then we'll just coordinate with your committee on that to make sure there's updates and stuff that we have the awareness here.
Correct.
Okay,
And
Thank you.
Kevin O'Hara, I'm sorry, Kevin O'Hara is the chair of that.
yes, yes. All right. We talked about the working with the health department. We'll continue that discussion on August 19th. So more to follow. Any other new business, Dave, Dr. Silver?
Sure. So I'm not sure if this is gonna start a wildfire, but as a lot of us knows, people in this room, obviously, we're all involved, medical directors, we care, we're part of the REMAC. But there are quite a few medical directors in Nassau that are disengaged and really just sign papers. And I'm curious for the good of EMS in our region, their involvement, their education. If we can work either with credentialing medical directors, or at the very least, have each medical director have to attend one REMAC meeting a year, just so they have some idea of what we do and get some buy-in to make sure that our medics are doing the right thing for their agencies.
Just a correction to statement. Every EMS agency medical director is credentialed.
Sorry, to be involved or credentialed to a certain level beyond.
They're all credentialed they're credentialed to the level of medical control.
So do we want to take it a step further?
I
Is the
think,
question I have
so
for,
then you would have to create a bylaw, a policy that requires medical director participation in the REMAC as non-voting members, or attendance. So that would be a bylaw change.
discussion for other people, thoughts before we get anywhere, just writing that?
So not that I disagree with the idea. I've sat on this committee for a long time. A lot of the medical directives are a name only. And that's a problem. The other problem is agencies finding medical directors that are not name only. Finding somebody who actually wants to be the medical director through the QA, get familiar with the medics and EMTs and be involved. A lot of your physicians aren't really looking for that level of engagement. And I agree with you 100%. They need to be more involved. But playing devil's advocate, what do you do when, somebody doesn't show up? What's the penalty? Are you going to pull their medical director credential? What does the agency do, especially if it's ALS? Without a medical director, they can't operate.
Say you operate as an ALS agency with someone just signing your controlled substance form every 6 months?
I don't think,
Devil's advocate again.
again, it meets the statute to have somebody who has put their name and their license to it. And is it adequate? Absolutely not. But the reality is, it's going to be hard for agencies to find people who want to participate. And there's a limit under state law, how many medics you can have under your license and how many agencies you can control.
Maybe a way we can engage them on a regular basis or have meetings of all the medical directors and see how we can engage them.
That's something we used to do a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
Medical director
Yeah.
meetings, just medical directors.
Maybe we should do that. I mean, that'd be a nice way to engage people, at least to see if we can get more interest that way. So that way it's a carrot and not a stick.
And maybe CMEs also,
Oh, that's a good idea.
because typically that helps.
Good. I like that. I like both those ideas. So we'll work on something for that to bring up to the next meeting where we could start having meetings and try to engage more people and do some CMEs and we can do that. That sounds great.
Will they get capes?
I kind of like it.
Dave, how about even just a letter of encouragement to the agencies to state that this is what we're looking for in your medical director without having the,
Yeah, and then say that's why we're having a
times,
meeting.
Yeah, I've been out there trying to reach out to certain ones, and there are people out there. I agree that there are people by name only. And they're sort of, bored, well, we have this relationship, and now if you say, well, listen, this is what REMAC is asking for our medical directors, it may make a difference in terms of us just giving some guidance there related to that.
Okay, I like that. I like this. They're all good ideas. Then maybe we'll use the carrot first and see if we can engage more people. That's a good, that's a good plan. Okay.
Just a question, maybe once you get a letter out to all the medical directors and stuff, as we do with the meetings and stuff virtually, to join the meetings and stuff, because some of them may not be able to get here during the daytime and stuff with that. Say I represent, medical director that has about 6 agencies, most of the BLS. But I do, take care of a lot of QA, QI, and other issues and stuff, and I report back to him on issues and stuff with that, but might be an idea to just get a letter out from the REMAC and the REMSCO and see that might help to drive the CME and them to come online and stuff, and at least, see the meetings and stuff with that, because I know there are some people that who represent some medical directors at the meetings and stuff like that.
Okay, are you guys okay if Dr. Silva and I work on a letter and we'll get that out to everybody? Is that okay?
Back in October.
Okay, and then we'll report back in October. How's that?
Do they get the minutes? Does every medical director get the minutes of our meetings?
No,
That may be one way to start engaging.
It's only video.
There's 3 people logged in now, and the amount of clicks on the website to view the YouTube is less than 100 a month.
Yeah.
So the information, I'm not, again, trying to be
maybe
callous.
we just engage it. I mean, that's gonna be part of the engagement. Dr. Winslow?
Another suggestion, if you're gonna be looking at in next 2027, doing a bylaws update or bylaws change. One thing that we did in Suffolk that was very helpful was we put every agency medical director automatically on the QI subcommittee of REMAC, so you can discuss cases in a private and confidential manner.
Okay. I'll let you coordinate that with,
It also ties them to.
yeah, okay. It's another good idea. Dr. Silva, you like these ideas?
I like these ideas.
Okay, good.
You guys are much nicer than I am. Carrots, I'm a state person.
Carrot first. We won't forget the stick though.
That's why we have more than one David.
Yes. More than one flavor of David.
Correct.
All right, anything else under new business? All right, our next meeting is gonna be Wednesday, October 7th, 2:15 here. And between now and then, the county EMS plan meeting on August 19th, 8 PM here. Any further notes before we hit the final motion? Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, seconded, we're good to go. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Stay well, stay safe. We appreciate everybody.